Hello everyone and welcome to the Inspire series with me, Lydia. I started the Inspire series because I wanted to empower women. I wanted us to learn how to live, love, pray, and be inspired. So join me on this wonderful journey of self-discovery where anything and everything is achievable. The Inspire series features lively guests, all of whom are living the life they only dreamed about. And you can too. Hello everyone and welcome to the Women's Talk section of the Inspire series with me, Lydia. Have you ever heard this before? I don't like her weave. Why does she wear that kind of shoe? Is that her boyfriend? Yes, judgmental women. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And to help me in the studio, we have women who are not judgmental at all. I'll start right here. We have Lydia, who is a cultural entrepreneur. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yay. And then we have Sheila, who is a writer and a poet, and also like a financial manager of some sorts.
Okay. More inside.
Thank you for coming on the show. And then finally, we have Seun, who is a concept promoter and a fashion entrepreneur.
Yes.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Hey.
Hi. So ladies, tell me and be honest. Have you guys ever been judgmental towards another woman? Sheila, I see you're laughing. So just this is a free space. Just be honest.
I would say yeah, I have. It's been very honest.
Okay, so
I have. But I think it's maybe at a much younger age, where you know, as a teenager or when you're in your very early 20s, you feel like you know everything, and so you would see someone and go, "Why are you doing that?" So
give me an example. What?
I remember, it's funny because the chick is now my very good friend, but I remember the first time I met a young lady. Some friends and I were going out, and she was just very noisy that night. And she was all over the place, apparently she had been drinking. And I looked at her and I was like, why would any woman be drinking like this and behaving like this, like a fool in public? And I just assumed that because she was doing that, she had to be a particular type of person. And then when you grow up in certain homes, they make you feel like if a girl behaves this way, then she is wayward. She's this, she's that. And so I just automatically just put her in that box of, man, I'm not getting close to her. I will stick with my fellow ethical friends, and we'll be all right. It's funny. Like a few months later, I met her again. She was actually she was sober. And I was like, well, she's actually smart.
Oh dear.
And yeah, so I think it was about like 2 years of us being friends. I told her, the first time I met you, I thought you didn't know anything. You were behaving. And she just started laughing, So I think it's sometimes a lot of women, we tend to do that sometimes. We tend to see things or see people and just, we're all fashion stylists in our head, so no matter what anybody else wears, you're always like, oh, why are you wearing pink and brown? Like, what's the meaning of that? That kind of thing. So, yeah, so that would be my...
Seun, what about you?
I don't know if judging. Yes, there's a mental list. Everybody has that list. Somebody enters the room and then you go, okay, we're going to get on, or no, we're not going to get on. But I find that I do the opposite. I find that I can sit with someone, or driving. Good example. I was driving and I turned around in traffic and I saw this woman in a Range Rover. She's like, nice hair, everything looking spivvy. And I was like, well done. And she gave me that look of, who are you again? And she drove off.
And you went well done to her.
I was like, yeah, like, go girl. Like, she looked as if she was owning it. So I was bigging her up and she wound up her window and looked straight. And I was like, oh, she judged me. Could it have been my car? Is it my car? And I don't know.
Maybe you weren't owning your own.
I wasn't owning. Of course I wasn't. The windows were down. People had already hailed me in traffic. The plantain chips guy. I was like, get out of my face. So there was no way that I just find that I don't do it, like, unless we have history. Unless we have history, I'm going to judge you, even if you knock. I would judge it that rubbish knocking. What more do we expect from somebody like her? But normally, I don't think so. I'm always pleasantly surprised by people. And
what about you, Lydia?
You know what Sheila said about like if you are raised in a particular way, you have parents and you go out and see, you know, like for me, like when I see women smoking, you should see what goes on in my head. As in, it's, I don't know, but you know how, like you can't, like for me, I can't help those things that come in. It's not like I pluck them off the floor and put them inside my head, as in judgment, enter there and judge this person. You know, it just comes up like that because of what you believe. You know, and most times it comes from some feeling of superiority, you know, that you're not entitled to. You know, you just feel like, oh, I don't smoke, so I'm better than this person, or, you know.
Judging, I feel, has taken a new dimension. So it's like, oh, please, what kind of bag is that? My bag is more expensive than your bag. My hair is Antifumi. Yours, not so much Antifumi, maybe Antitaye. Do you understand? You're not quite, do you understand? You don't have the accent or the school. Especially, I just got back club. Where you been? you know that kind of thing. So judging sometimes I don't think it's only constrained to behavior. I think it's now also very superficial. I mean, what do you think about that, Lydia?
Well, like I'm going to find it very difficult answering this question because I don't send. No.
But do you feel people, as someone that doesn't send, do you feel people judge you?
I don't care.
Oh, so you don't even notice?
Yes.
I have experienced, funny enough, I've experienced that. I've experienced the turnaround when people realize who you are. So like people meet me and you know, they're all like, oh yeah, so I schooled in the UK. And then the other one's like, yeah, so I'm in Mississippi. And, you know, and I'm just there like, just having a conversation, not because I don't see a need to talk about certain things. You know, I'm one of those, let your work speak for you. And, you know, and so because I wasn't saying where I went to or where I schooled, I noticed that they weren't exactly okay. So they were just like that girl there, yeah. Yes. And until halfway through the conversation, the girl goes, so what school did you go to again? And I turned and said where I went. She goes, oh wow, oh my God, my cousin went to that school. And I'm thinking in my head, it's too late. Let's go.
So you judge her right back. For her judging.
Because it's very common in Lagos where people just and that whole superficial thing, they just look at you and automatically just think, because what I love now, which I heard was 2 weeks ago, was like, she hasn't been abroad before, so her thinking must be very flawed. And I thought, how stupid can that be? Like, why would you judge because you managed to enter a aeroplane to go to America for 2 days and come back and we are not happy? You now think that because the other girl.
But you know what?
It's so ridiculous.
I don't think the way we're discussing it now, we're making it seem as if it's new. It's not new. Some people just never grew up from secondary school. Remember how it was? You left primary school, you got into secondary school, and you thought, you know what, it's going to be like Mallory Towers, St. Clair's. We're going to wake up in the middle of the night, have midnight feast, hug each other, kumbaya, and then go to class. And you get there, and it's about, where'd you get your school bag? Where'd you get your school shoes from? Where did you go last summer? Are you going next summer? And if you're one of the lucky ones, you're going for Christmas? Oh my God, you're my bestie. You know, and all of that. And then you form cliques. You form cliques, and then the cliques become gangs. And so forget university where they're dealing with cults. They should go back to secondary school. Because that's where it really started. When you start to ostracize people who you live next to. You know, I knew people in secondary school who wouldn't talk to people once we were on the school grounds, but they were bunkmates. So you'd see them in the hostel, really buddy-buddy. But when it's time to go and mix with everybody else, they treat their best friend as if, oh, you don't understand Lola. Lola who? Oh, your bunkmate. No, she's not my bunkmate. She just comes to my room a lot. And I'm just polite. She sits on my bed. She doesn't sit on my bed. She just happened to. You know, so it's secondary school and you see it. It's the rush to get married, the rush to have a fantastic career. It's the rush to have the new car, be seen with the latest hair. We did it in secondary school. While some of us grew up, some people never grew up. And it continues, even with my parents, you see amongst 60, 70-year-old people competing on levels that you cannot understand. You own the world. Chill. But he still wants to be the one who has the house in Knightsbridge, the one who, you know, has tickets to go and watch Wimbledon. If you can't make it, you are not part of it, you are suffering. Memo to you.
In case you were not aware. But then what do you think is behind the judgment? Do you think it's because, is there envy? Is there ignorance? I mean, is it just because we're in such a material world and that's the only yardstick we now have to judge each other? I mean, what do you think is behind the judgment, especially amongst women?
I think it's fair. It's fair. Your hair is not yours. You bought it, I can buy it. You just bought yours first. So there's that fear of, if I don't have my hair, my Gucci bag, my clothes, we're going to actually have to engage on a real level. And I will discover that you have read more books than me. Gosh. So the hair, let's get back to the hair. My hair is new.
So there's fear of getting deeper. To meet each other on a deeper level. And deeper level.
Yeah.
I mean, so do you agree with this, Lydia?
Yes, I think that also the complex is like you have a complex. You know that when you carry out a conversation, you can't hold a conversation. You know, there are people who, even like when they're in public, they have to go with somebody because, I can't really talk to people, so can you come with me so that you can start a conversation for me or initiate a conversation with this person for me. It's much easier to talk about, oh, what are you wearing? Oh, I like your shoes. Oh, nice hair, girl. Oh, nice earrings. It's much easier to throw those things around than to really talk about what you're doing, the things that, your accomplishments, the things that you fear, the things that, even though those are not like first conversations, but it's much easier what people talk about.
But then why are we afraid to have those conversations? Is it because we don't know or because we are insecure with where we are?
I mean, I find it like it's more of insecurity. A lot of women that I have noticed that judge others tend to be very insecure, and they do that to cover up something that is missing in their lives. So you can walk into a room and maybe she actually likes the way you look, but the fact is at that point maybe she feels like she doesn't look good enough. So she attacks your appearance, and you're thinking, what did I even do? Like, why are you attacking me? So it's insecurity is one of the things, and a lot of women are actually very insecure. We're always, it's either weight, it's either skin color or hair or something, or some chick is, looking much better than I am, or she's dating a richer guy or something.
That guy that I like is looking
exactly. So it's that insecurity that just tends to move certain women to just judge subconsciously. Start judging.
I think, recently I read a book. Well, no, it wasn't a book, it was actually a vlog. And it was by a woman called Brené Brown.
Oh, yeah.
And she was talking about vulnerability. Now, for each and every person you meet that has a fear or an insecurity, there was a day, a moment in time where they put their real selves out there and they were judged and they failed. So, they talk, and she was saying that, for victims of war, when there's a war-like circumstance, when you're confronted and it's a do-or-die situation, you develop skills that help you survive that situation. What they don't tell people who have gone through wars is the war is over. You can now leave that tool behind and continue the general interaction the real you should come out again because it's all safe where you are now. As women in Nigeria, we all have that moment. You have that moment. Some of us forget it. Some of us choose to ignore it. Some of us are reminded about it every single day, where you have a choice. Do I fight for the real me, which only 10 people will like, honestly, and 10 of them are all my relatives. 2 of them gave birth to me. And, or Do I go with the rules that have been set by society, the rules that everybody is doing well at, and that will show me more friends?
Yeah.
You know? So it's that balance. And then what happens then is that when you choose the 100 people and you choose the lists that you're following, you forget that you don't have to do any work internally. You're putting all the work externally, and it's work. Like I was telling somebody the other day that don't think because the pretty girl doesn't work. She works. She works just as hard as you, the dullard but intelligent, ugly but intelligent looking person. We're all working here, you know.
Just working in different
ways. Can that sustain a marriage? Yes. If two people who are working on the outside marry, they'll be fine. The problem occurs when a person who only works on the outside meets someone who works on their inside. And after she takes off the makeup or she leaves it on your new bed sheets or on your collar, you're now like, but where are you?
Who are you again?
How do we know each other? Yes, you know how to sit inside a range, but there's no money for petrol for the range. Should we call a taxi? And she spazzes out, you know.
But then, so there's this, so does that mean that behind if we're going with Brené Brown's sort of thesis, does that mean that behind our insecurities is a deeper need to be accepted?
Yes.
And that is what is, but then we are masking it by judging.
Yes.
I think everybody has that need to be accepted or to be validated by somebody. Like the problem is, who do you want to validate you? Do you want the whole world to validate you, or do you want people important to you to validate you? Maybe some people walk around wanting praise and admiration from everybody. That's what tells me that I'm doing something right, you know. And if I don't get it, I'm depressed for the whole day, you know. But like for people who know that, okay, if one person validates me, I'm okay with that. Somebody who's important to me, you know. So, and I think also confidence. Like we go around not confident in who we are, and not being okay with what we have and in who we are, you know. So we want more. We want the world to think that we have more. We want to show that we are more, you know, and that just, you know,
that just clouds the whole judgment.
I mean, the problem is we're living up to the expectations that sometimes media set, not necessarily. So in our heads, the perfect woman would be, you know, tiny waist, huge hips, you know, a particular skin tone. She would be driving this kind of car or have this kind of job. She would be dating this kind of man. The perfect man would have, you know, 6 figures, huge house in Banana Island.
and abs.
And abs, yes, you know.
What do we do with the abs?
The abs are important.
Look at. I don't understand.
You know, stuff like that. The
I don't
abs.
understand what
And
the
you know-
work the
and you
abs
know-
do.
And you know, the recent one that I find very interesting is when a young lady gets engaged, and if the ring isn't big enough, she's all of a sudden ashamed of herself, like her man has disappointed her in this life, forgetting that they're actually going to get married and it's about marriage. So, and what happened was a friend of mine, there was another girl that got engaged, and then my friend sent the pictures, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm happy she's engaged. That ring is like a rope.
I'm sorry, can I just interrupt you? I'm about to judge you right now. I'm about to judge you. I'm a woman, I'm a mature woman of a certain age. If you're going to offer me a ring, I do not need a telescope
To locate the rock.
to locate the speck on the band. It's important. Like I always say, I will not, like my idea is to get married once and once alone. I will not get 2 or 3 proposals. This is the one.
Well, you get
From
the
the
proposal,
heel.
but you don't get the ring.
The reason why you feel like that is because that is what is important
To me.
Okay, but
Okay, I want to ask, but then what are you comparing the ring to?
My eye. With my eye.
But then if this is what you're dating a man,
Yes,
you know
yes.
what he can afford.
So what if you can afford a rope?
What's it? That's
I
exactly.
said hold it. Gather all rope money together.
Would
so
you
that we
sacrifice
would
rope money for food money?
I'm telling you that if
It's
you
about to
only
sacrifice rope money.
I'm telling you, if you are going to bring rope, buy telescope. So we'll both look at it together. Oh, what is this? No, I think when we think about the judging, we shouldn't sway too far from you're not allowed to have a preference.
I agree.
You're not allowed to be able to set standards or choice.
Yeah, but you can have a preference, but your preference is not necessarily someone else's.
Yes, I want you
So
to
that's
preference to judge
exactly.
me.
So that's what I'm saying.
Preference
That's
is
what I'm
not-
saying.
Your preference is because this is what you want.
Yeah.
Not
Exactly.
because this person's one is bigger
Exactly.
than mine.
Exactly.
So ropes for the two of you.
Rope.
Please.
So for the
I'm burning on the rope, yo. I'm burning on the rope.
You don't want rope.
no, so it's just no, because I'm just saying because for her to have called that ring a rope, it means in her head there's a particular size.
There's a threshold.
There's a threshold for the other.
my eye.
For the other chick, hers was, man, I'm getting married.
This is to the man I love.
So to her, it didn't really matter about rope or no
But then
rope.
where does this measurement come from? This threshold, if you were, is it from competition? Are we in constant? You know, a lot of people say women are in constant competition. My weave is better than yours. No, men are as well. To be fair, I don't think this is a gender-specific thing. Yeah. But obviously, our terms of reference here is women.
Yeah.
So, but then, do you think that the women are constantly competing against each other? Is that because? And why are we doing that? Is that because the world is pitching us against each other, or it's just that we have standards that are unrealistic?
I feel like a lot of standards have been set for women. Like it's like if you're a career woman, there's certain standards. You should dress a particular way. You should look a particular way. So even when you go to offices, it's just that God, she dressed. She's not wearing pencil skirts. She's not looking professional enough. I know for men, it's more of, how much money and who's the woman that you're carrying. But like...
Who's the woman that you're carrying?
Carrying.
We are now a boss.
But for women is so many things. So you have the magazines, you have media that you just makes it look like, first of all, you have to worry about your hair being a particular way. Then you have to worry about your body size being a particular way. If you decide you want to go into a particular profession, you have to worry about that as well. So there's this constant competition that women have. It's like they've set this standards, it's unwritten rules, and they're constantly competing with themselves to get those things. Like, yes, I must finish my degree, I must get married first, I must have a child first, and then if I have a child, my child has to go to the best private school there is in town. So you find that the competition is not just on our level, because now you have people start competing with their kids. Like, can you see that one's child is playing the piano? Can't even
Even
don't know.
Even maths,
What are you doing? So it's and you find, and then next thing you know, you're transferring this competitive spirit to the kids.
But is that bad? Is it bad to say that as a woman you must be married at a certain age, or that as a career woman you should aim? I mean, does competition help us to aim higher? Is it bad to compete?
You see, the thing with competition is when you're competing against someone else. You're not competing against yourself. I feel like setting standards and having expectations for yourself is different from competing or being in competition with people. Because when you're you don't compete with strangers. You compete with people who are around you. You compete with people who are in the same school as you. You don't compete with strangers. So setting standards for yourself, having an expectation for yourself, I think that's okay. I want to be this, I want to achieve this. By the time I'm 30, I want to at least have a child and work towards goals. But competing with, I don't know how healthy
that requires, for you to set those goals, requires time with yourself.
Yes, exactly.
You must know who you are.
You must know who you are.
To be able what validates you, to be able to realistically set those standards.
And that list is a changing or a moving head, as they say. So as time goes by, you do realize that, okay, this might not be who I am, because we're constantly going to be having that list that we tick off. But you have to spend time with yourself. I have never seen a race that is afraid of silence like the Nigerian race. Like
Sorry, what do you mean by that?
Like they don't like spending time with themselves.
Okay, yeah.
You know, there's the constant weddings every weekend. Do you know the person getting married? No. Do you, the person you're going
Like
with?
activity validates us in a way.
Movement is progress. We may be running backwards, but we're moving.
We are moving.
You know, that's our mentality in Nigeria in general. There has to be noise. If you get married, you can't just quietly get married. It has to be a publicity thing. You know, I was looking at a popular internet site the other day, and I just looked at page after page after page after page of wedding pre-videos. I said, hey, the pressure is on. Who, if you don't have photo shoot with a theme, your marriage will not last.
It's not just about taking pictures again. You need to have a theme.
Even career-wise.
And videos.
Even career-wise, you put two bankers together. It's about what department are you in? What level are you on? Did you meet your target? Didn't you meet your target? Who are the clients on your list? Yes, I know everywhere else in the world, this is how they assess it. But the Nigerian factor.
Can I just ask? Sorry, I want to just. Did you all grow up in Lagos?
Yeah.
Yes. I grew up in Jos. So I'm finding a little difficulty like accepting some of the things you're saying because I did not grow up that way.
Maybe it's a Lagos thing.
Maybe it's
it's
not
a
like
Lagos
I don't
thing,
think it's a Nigerian thing because there are a lot of things I learned. I had culture shock when I moved to Lagos.
Sorry about that.
Sorry, we apologize.
Thank you. I always used to say, where I'm from, people don't behave like this. Where I'm from, they go back home. You know, so I don't think that it's a Nigerian thing. I think it's certain, like a cultural
Maybe it's a
thing.
Maybe it's a Lagos.
Maybe it's a Lagos
thing.
thing. But then, okay, I want to talk a bit about how this judgment and our inability to accept who we are also prevents us from moving forward. So for example, I know that before I started this show, I wanted to lose weight because I was petrified that as soon as I appeared with my bingo arms on TV,
And the camera,
no, these cameras, they add 25. To be sure. Because this is not how I look in real life.
You did not wake up like
No, I did not wake up. Weightless. I woke up weightless. No, so I remember feeling like, oh my God, so much pressure that people were going to judge me because I was fat and this, and they're like, you are coming on TV, you know, that kind of thing. So I feel like sometimes maybe people, but then after a while, I really tried, but it didn't work. Weight loss, I had to appear as I am. So, but then I feel like maybe, do you think that also this fear of being judged as well stops you from living?
It does.
Can I tell you an experience I had? I meditate in the mornings. I sit down and have that alone time that everybody's afraid of. And I was talking to God furiously about weight loss. That was the issue of the day. Because the day before, I had gone into sugar shock, where I'd eaten every muffin in sight. Bring it into my mouth is the thing I was doing the day before. So I said, God, you know, all the blessings that you have promised me, everything, is my weight going to get in the way? Is it like, are the blessings going to be coming and when they see my body, they'll be like, nah, are you kidding me? And so I had that moment where I was very, very sad about it. And he said to me, Seun, you know I love you, right? I said, yeah, I know that. It's your job, but you love me. He said to me, if you're skinny, I can bless it. If you're fat, I will bless it. So my blessings are not dependent on what your body shape is. I said, so like, really, God, this is great but vague. If I'm fat, can I do all the things I want to do in my career? He said, yes. Even if I wanted to be on TV? Yeah. Okay. If I'm skinny, can I still do them? Yes. I said, so what's with the big fat girl? Why is the world making life so difficult? And he said to me, you have to choose the way you want that journey to go. It is a journey. It is long. There'll be days you'll be fed up. Do you want to be fed up in a skinny body or fed up in a fat body? Because you're going to be fed up anyway. So it's one of those things where accepting yourself is just like, this is where I am. I might be skinnier tomorrow. I might be fatter tomorrow. but I'll be good.
Yeah.
So that's the conversation that people have to have. I got up from there, went to the fridge, had another muffin. It's all good.
Well, I think we got your decision there in terms of the journey.
Don't judge me.
I'm so judgy.
Okay, ladies, we need to wrap this up. So, parting words from each of you in terms of what is your advice to both the judgers, and is it the judges, the people that are being judged? What is your advice to women in general in terms of judgment?
I would say you need to find yourself and be true to who you are. You can't want to be another person or be like another person. You have to be true to who you are, really. I think that every decision you make is dependent on that, on your confidence and your ability to be you. I love my person. I love that I love slippers. And I don't like high heels. I tell everybody at weddings, Lydia, I will not wear high heels.
So it doesn't matter if somebody judges you, whether you're wearing high heels or whatever.
Comfort is my first goal. I will not waste time in a dress that I'm not comfortable in. I will not wear, because this is because I hate salon. You know, it's not for any reason. I just hate salon. I'd rather not go. And so I will make those decisions because I'm confident in who I am. Really.
Okay. What about you, Sheila?
I think for me, it's a motto I live by, and it's just basically life is a race, but we're all going at our own pace, and we all have our lanes. So recognize your lane, recognize your pace, and stick to it. So if someone is going faster than you, hey, it's all good. We're all getting to the end at the end of the day.
Just face your walk.
I know. We'll get there. We will get there. So even if that person gets there before you, that's okay. There's a Brimo has, I've forgotten the title of the song, but there's the line in the song says, the person went first buy car, now buy old model. And so there's no point trying to compete, because if the person buys latest hair today, if you want to buy that hair, when you buy your own will be newer. She would have had her own for a while. You even buy the latest one, she will now have to compete to kind of catch up with you to buy that one. So there's no point trying to be somebody else. Just recognize who you are, recognize your lane, recognize the pace at which you're living your life, and then just keep moving.
Okay. And finally?
I think it would be grow up. We are no longer in secondary school. Grow up, do it quickly. It's going to be painful, but the real you is so much more and so much more worth it than this thing. And then judging is a waste of your time, because living your life as X is already taken. God gave that person that role. So face your own role. Your life is still vacant. Fill it with the stuff that will make you happy. And you know you're not happy. If you have time to look at other people, that means you are vacating the job that you're supposed to be doing, which is you. So grow up quickly.
Do not waste time. Sure.
There's a saying that I heard a long time ago, and it's something that I live by. There's enough space in the sky for every star. Yeah, so you don't have to compete. I don't have to compete with your stars. I don't have to compete to be able.
We can all shine together in this galaxy.
We can all shine. Like that's our work as human beings, to raise each other up. Really.
I think that's a lovely note to end the show on. Well, I don't know what you've gotten out of this, but this has been really interesting. So we started out talking about women judging others, and then the conversation kind of turned its head, and we're now saying it's about you. We all have to look inwards, spend time with yourself, know who you are, understand your purpose, your lane, understand you're not in competition with anybody else but yourself, and understand what makes you happy. And hopefully maybe that will make us stop judging each other and stop competing with each other, and instead lift each other up. Till next time, it's been me, Gloria Dozian, on the Inspire series. Bye.